Patch notes, boys.
Abandon all hope.
My Mavix is like a $900 chair. Half the price of this. More comfortable to me.
Will face the ferryman's wrath.
Your end is here.
The underworld calls. For I will guide you.
Okay.
A new world is waiting.
Happy Thursday, and welcome to the Smite Update Show 10.7 for our boy, CHARON, the ferryman, the mighty boatman.
CHARON.
We love
Karen.
him, we're excited about him, and we're happy
You
to
gonna
have
give him a
you
Karen
here.
skin?
I'm Titan Dandy, for those who do not know me, and I can't talk, obviously. And I'm joined
Mama,
by
this
two
chair
of my
is
incredible,
$2,000,
coworkers here,
$2,050.
Lermy and Clumsy. You know him, you love
I
him.
don't like it.
Hi everyone.
Hi, y'all
Getting
excited to
returned.
be here?
Freaking excited.
You excited for the boat? This is your baby.
This is my baby.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about him, but we're not going to talk about him just yet.
We're not there yet. So let's dive straight into some stuff, starting with a huge update, or a huge announcement that we've already made once, but we do have a little video we can show y'all about what we're excited about here. Let's check it
We're
out.
excited about Karen. Oh.
An absolutely incredible weekend of Smite.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in, for making this possible, for celebrating Smite with us. You can be here in cosplay as well.
Oh, he's not like he's nowhere. He's just oh my God! Untouched, unscathed, bow down to your king, the Camelot King, champion of the world.
That's right, everybody. Get excited all over again for another amazing Smite World Championship. Happening in the same place as last year. We fell in love with the energy, with the venue, with everybody we saw there, and we thought, let's run it back, but better this year. Better every year. That's how it goes. So for for year X, Smite, year 10, we're super excited to come back to Arlington, Texas for another amazing Smite World Championship. So keep an eye out. Tickets go on sale next week, the 12th. Pretty sure that's a Wednesday, 12 p.m. ET. So, and you better get them. Last year they were gone. Like, we were sitting here like, yeah, we're excited, announcements out. And then we looked and we're like, no tickets. There are none. They're a myth. So make sure you hop on that ASAP, because it's going
Texas
to be
venue
another
was
incredible year. And we
okay.
cannot wait to show you what all we
Hi-Res
have
is
in
limited
store,
what they're
and how
able to
we've made
do
it
there.
better year over year.
Like, they have
So,
to, everything has to stay
continuing
set
down
up the
that
way
line,
it is.
though, we have
It's not their
esports
place.
events.
Which
Between now and
affects
then,
a lot.
the World Championships are going to be huge, but there's more to look
If
forward
you sat
to
in the back
between
half
now
of the
and
stadium,
January
of
next
the
year.
or
And,
whatever it's called, you
there's
couldn't
just
see
all
the
kinds of
screen
stuff.
and you
Between
couldn't hear
now and
anything.
the end of summer, we have some amazing events going on, and plenty for y'all to check out and watch. You can learn more about it at SmitePro.
You could see the screen, sorry. You couldn't read the screen. It wasn't in a high
hang
enough
out
quality.
With us and continue to watch our journey to Worlds. One last thing to talk about are just a few quality of life changes that we've made for this particular update, one of which is related to the HUD. Specifically, the Demonic Pact HUD theme is now available on old HUD and new HUD. So if you have it on the old HUD, keep using it. You're still using it. If you have it, if you prefer the new HUD and you have that the Demonic Pact HUD theme, you can use it now too. So we told y'all we were going to start working on getting these updated. It's a lengthy process because HUD and UI are all incredibly crazy, but we're working on it and we're getting it. So there is one of
What's
them.
up, Vex? Thank you
The
for the
second
sub,
thing I
brother.
have to say
Laser,
is
thank you for the
we've heard
85.
a lot of people
Vulcan,
talk
thank you for the
about
6.
the
Blue, thank you for the
Color Forge
Prime.
event and
Freak,
how
thank
it
you for
can
the
be
8.
kind of hard,
Big
especially on
Kemba,
console,
thank you for the 4.
to claim your free chests. So the Color Forge, color chroma dye chests. So it's easier now. It's easier now. You don't have to navigate down to that claim button. We made the process simpler because we heard what y'all had to say, and we were like, oh, we want them to have all of those, and we don't want it to be complicated. So thank you for your feedback. Like we always say on this show, it's invaluable, and it helps us make things better for us and y'all. So cool. That kind of comes to the end of that little section, and funny enough, kind of a good segue into the first bit of skins we're looking at. So we have one more Color Forge skin coming with this update. Let's go ahead and look at the card art. We have a Kukulkan skin.
Oh, nice.
The camera they're using
so
for
cool.
them was
Got, like,
so
the horn.
garbage quality.
That was
What
a mask
the fuck?
face too.
Yeah, he's got this like kind of creepy look to him, but he also kind of looks sweet. He looks like he's gonna be protecting the forest. There's another one of the Kukulkan skins that have hands, so that's always fun.
Right.
Oh, true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so super duper awesome. And again, this is part of the Color Forge event. So this will work with all of those different dyes that you are able to unlock by playing.
Bubblegum Kukulkan.
Bubblegum Kukulkan. Super excited about that.
I'm a Midnight's fan myself.
Ooh, all right. I like that. I can respect it. So, but I mean, and you know, if for those of you who weren't here the first time, the Color Forge system and the dyes that come with it work to change not only the aesthetic of the skin itself, but the abilities, which is huge. So when you're playing this skin and throwing tornadoes and giant fire-breathing
if they're giving a Cuckoo a skin, he's
then,
probably getting some kind of a buff.
They're gonna look cool.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah,
gonna
so-
have.
I don't think the skin's
colors and
bad, but
stuff.
like
So,
I just don't care about Culkin
yeah,
skins
super excited
right
about
now
it.
or
Again,
at
this
all
will be,
because he's
a
not
new
good
Color
yet,
Forge skin coming
and he has
up
a million
with
skins
the
that are
update.
decent.
From there, though, let's move on. We have some balance to talk about, I think.
Ooh.
Do we?
I mean, he's asking you. You're the
no.
designer, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I just like throwing you off for a second. I was like, no, we do. Don't worry. We've got like a little bit.
You're good. You're good. I posed that weird. Would you imagine? I've been so hyped. for
Yeah,
this.
am I trolling or is the
You know,
quality
I
of
was
this
sitting there
camera
like,
dog
sleeps?
shit?
oh, it's super.
I
I got my boat socks on, like super excited about
He's
it.
ready.
No, their
anyway,
camera they're
balance,
using right
right?
here is really, really
we came out of
horribly
a lot
set
of
up,
balance
or just
from
a
the
terrible
last
fucking
update, and
lens.
it was huge. So now we're able to come back and fine tune some of the things.
I'm not talking
that
about the
maybe
color.
got
I'm
missed
talking
from you.
about
There's a
the
million things you did.
like
we missed
clarity.
things?
Look at
No,
how
you
clear
don't ever
this
miss
camera
things.
is
I
compared
miss
to
things,
when they zoom
like,
out. Watch.
Socks, shoes, and Smite.
Hey, you're wearing them today. We're good.
Yeah.
See
All right,
that?
so anyway,
Everything's
I'm over
blown
here
out.
dancing in circles.
The
Let's get
whiteness
into
is
some
blown out,
conquest.
and the
Yeah, let's do it.
clarity
So,
there is none. Like
just
there's
in
no.
general,
It's not
Unleashed
focused
Titans, getting a
properly.
little bit of a change up, right?
Yeah, this is an interesting
Yeah,
one. So
there's
you heard the
something off
feedback
here.
that the Titan fights can be a little bit lackluster sometimes, and we're trying to encourage a more active choice in terms of actually participating in these fights by making the Unleashed Titans give local golden XP rather than global golden XP. And so you might say, well, that's kind of just less gold across the map. Then, technically it is, but it is going to incentivize you to actually go and do it because the reward for those Conquest Titans, or the Unleashed Conquest Titans to die, was very, very big before. So we wanted to make it a little bit more purposeful. If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
exactly. Because it's something that would happen when the Unleashed Titans, right? It's very scripted point of the game.
Yeah.
Both teams, the Titans would die
No,
eventually.
you're talking
and
about
both
the
teams would get
glowing or
influx of
their
reward no
skin
matter
being a
where
little bit
they
different
are.
color. I'm
Now
not
with them
talking
being
about that.
local, like when we
That's
said,
the
it's
setting I have on my stream.
incentivize
I'm
as a
talking
team
about
trying to probably be
when
by
they
the
zoom
Titan
out,
fights.
you
It's
cannot
still not a
visually see
necessity.
them,
If you want
it's
to do
blurry.
like Fire Giant instead or something, that might be the better
Yeah.
play. But if you're fighting by those Titans, you're now going to be able to get the local reward. And the other thing that actually means is that if one team is ahead and pushes the other team off of the Titan and kills the Titan, they might end up being like a little bit more of a snowball
Their
factor.
cameras
right?
are
Because the
also,
other
or
team
not the
isn't
cameras,
there
their
to
lights
get
are
that
too
local
bright.
reward.
Yeah.
You can
So
see it
while the reward
reflecting
is
off
small
of
overall
their
because it's
cheeks
gonna
and
be
their
locally
nose
shared,
and their forehead
it's now a
because
little bit more purposeful.
the
Exactly.
brightness is
and like you
way
said,
too
it's cool
fucking
because
high.
it adds that. It adds that
And
choice,
this
the
camera is
intensity
either
of
set
choice.
up
Do I
right
go
or
get
the
that-
lights are
that
set up
bonus
better at
by
his angle because
diving
there's
in
nothing
and joining with
shining,
the Titan
like
fight
a little
and
bit on
doing
his
that
forehead,
gold,
but nothing
or
on his
is
cheeks.
Are we more incentivized to take a Gold Fury, a Fire Giant, or to siege an opposite lane? So it really does. It puts that decision making higher up on the tier list, and I think that'll be really cool.
Yeah.
So.
Great.
Next up, one more conquest change. So Soul Surges. Lots of stuff going on with those massive
Ooh, they're
bubbles with
changing them?
ghosts and movement speed and death timers outside of conquest. So what's happening? with those?
Nerfing the
Yes,
movement
Soul Surges
speed.
are one of the new seasonal mechanics alongside the
Nerfing
Unleashed
the
Titans. This one is
Surge's
on all
movement
the different
speed.
game modes.
Yeah.
Nerfing their HP.
We've seen pretty mixed reception, like let's be honest here. And
Okay,
one of
this
the
is
main
fine.
things is also not just the zone effects itself, which have been honestly pretty fine and stable. We actually think the movement speed is something we wanted to tone down a little bit because we saw a lot of complaints about just movement speed across the board getting a little bit too crazy. The minions is something that we addressed once. We're going to continue looking at them and addressing them again.
I had to move my camera here,
We
huh?
want to assess how this is going to feel
You
going
know what?
into the
Let's
next
just go
season, if
back.
we want to keep them, if we want to remove them. The Surges or the minions specifically, and so this is just a next pass on seeing if we can alleviate some of the concerns, some of the frustrations. Decrease their health scaling a little bit more, decrease their movement speed. So they're actually not going to get you as quickly. I think even their range is toned
I
down.
don't think
just a
these
little bit
changes
too.
will
So
affect
that way,
anything. I'm
just
gonna be
like
real
if
with
you're
you
trying to
guys.
get
I
around
don't
a corner,
think
if you're trying to leave,
you'll
you're trying to
notice
just
killing
farm
them is going to be
minions,
faster.
ignore the
But outside of that, you won't even realize everything else that's changed.
That's
Yeah.
handy. I've definitely had my back stopped a time or two, and I'm like,
Only a couple times.
CHARON, come get your boy. So, but that's this update.
Yeah,
Soul
this
Surges
update
don't
we will
random
be doing.
aggro,
Exactly. That's what I've been waiting
aggro
for.
randomly. They
So, all
aggro
right, well, that
whatever's
does it
close to
for
them
conquest
first.
changes, but let's get into some items, huh? Starting with Prophetic Cloak. You're getting a little bit of work done.
Yes, this was another community request, and in the last patch, if you guys will remember, we talked a lot about adjusting these protection values, all that good stuff. This was an item that was a very common community discussion point where we did not decrease these to just see, where the numbers fell, because a lot of change at once is,
They
of
want
course, a lot of
Prophetic
change.
to be
It's
meta?
really hard to diagnose, okay, is it actually going to be that difficult to get to? this protection threshold value for Prophetic specifically?
Yeah.
And the answer was yes, it was. So we're going to be decreasing those thresholds by
They want it
just
to
a
be
little bit,
used.
75 at both thresholds. So from 400 to 325,
Just a little
and from
bit.
600 to 525. So
Okay.
a little bit, but it's going to be significant enough to where you're actually going to be able
That's
to
like
get to those
20%.
values
Yeah, actually.
relatively easily.
That's a little bit.
Well, next up looks like Silver Branch Bow has stacks, getting stacks on stacks.
Yeah, so this one's really interesting because during the power pass, alongside the protections one and everything that we did in the last
Who would have
season,
thought?
Silver Branch was one that we looked at, and I mean, if you look at the pass, if you look at the cap stacks, it actually used to cap at 100. It used to give you,
Sheesh.
honestly, an absurd amount of power, but the thing is, you never really used to hit that cap.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of discussion online, and one of the main reasons we brought it down to 20 is because that's still actually a very large amount of power, and it was meant to be a decision made so that Silver Branch could be picked up across a diversity of different types of hunters,
I
right? It
think
wasn't just for the
Silver
stim
Branch
hunters.
might
It was
become
ones that
meta
wanted to
on
just opt
stim
into attack
hunters
speed.
with the
Maybe
current
they had
build.
a small stim. Maybe they're getting Shogun's effect from their teammates. And it was kind of just
Because
gonna
people
be
are selling
ubiquitously
starter,
good
right?
amongst all the
So
different
why
hunters.
not sell
Now, we
starter
saw
for
the
Silver
discussion that we
Branch?
saw was honestly kind of
And just get a
contrary to that. We
big
saw a lot of
boost of
people
power.
that liked the fact that this was a little bit more niche or more specialized towards the attack speed stim hunters, and we kind of could see that.
Rama,
I think
Apollo.
that the team thinks that that's a fair
Maybe Fartimus.
reason to want to build Silver Branch Bow. It's not exactly the most meta item anyways, and if you want to exacerbate and make your item builds even stronger with this for attack speed stim hunters,
Easy.
that's fine too. Going from 20 to 40 isn't going all the way back
Churno's
to
a little
100
bit
yet,
different.
but it is still an insane
Churno's
amount
2
of power,
stim is very
especially
different
with
from those
the
other gods,
new
I feel
physical
like.
power on items. Honestly, it may be too much, but let's see how this feels with the new item builds, with those stim hunters, and then if we need to tone it down in different ways, we still can.
That's the name of the game. You throw it
Hachi
out
for
there.
sure.
Like, you
Actually, I
make
don't know. Hachi
estimates,
doesn't
we
have
the
a Hachi
playtest,
stim.
but
Yeah, probably
y'all
Hachi.
really take it
Almost
and run with
definitely
it.
Hachi
And
then.
it's when y'all get your hands on it, and we get like thousands of games worth of.
You'll have to test that,
They're
for
they're
sure.
popping off a little
The
bit.
data does show us after that amount of tests, you know,
Maybe
what
some
it'll
big
be.
Arachne hits
So
now.
super cool. Next up, Toxic
Ooch.
Blade, also
Maybe
getting
the
a bit of a
2.
buff.
Fly
Yeah,
guys,
this
even
is just
15.
an underutilized item that even during the healiest of the heal metas during the season of Hope, it just wasn't picked up, and so we wanted to give it a little bit of love, and we're doing that in several ways. The first way is we're decreasing the cost, so it's just not as difficult to go into.
Yeah.
Additionally, we are kind of squishing
Iron,
the
thank you for the
amount of time
sub.
it takes to get to that maximum anti-heal threshold. So what we're actually doing there is decreasing the max stacks by 1, increasing the anti-heal per hit, and then also increasing the attack speed
Raviol
buff
every
and
5
debuff,
months.
per stack. So
This change
basically
is
it's going
good.
to be about the same overall efficiency in terms of the total stats that you're getting, but it's going to be a faster.
This is still good, but
rapid
you're still
stance.
forcing this item on the people who don't want to build it.
It'll
Like,
make it a
hunters
little
aren't
more
going to build
useful.
this.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to be stabbed by a toxic knife, so you know what? I feel that.
Any knife, really.
Yeah, true. Any
Mamba's
knife,
back
don't
to
stab
building
me.
Toxic Blade every
So
game.
the
on
last
every
one in
gun.
items is the glorious Pridwin, getting a bit of a nerf.
Yeah, so tank proc items have definitely
Hey.
been one of the main two
coulda
things.
seen?
Pridwin
that
popped off a little bit.
Yeah, Pridwin popped off. We saw, Medscore spike. We see a lot of different discussions, and it's something that we're going to be continuously addressing. One that we didn't quite hit in bonus bounce because we just wanted just that much more time to have a look at it was a glorious Pridwin, the one that explodes twice. And this is the change that we're doing. The 10% difference from 75 to 65 is going to break it from not being in line with the other ones, but it's also happening twice. So overall, you're going to be getting more damage, unless the enemy gets out of the way, in which case they deserve to get a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, that's
Tanks
still
are
a shit
using
ton of
20%.
damage if you're at
Yep,
full build
exactly.
tank.
Yeah, so not huge, but I mean, still definitely threatening.
Yeah.
I also love that the descriptor for that is, the one that explodes twice. So
A
anything,
boom and a boom.
yeah, anything that's
Dylan,
described
David, the
that way has to
14
be
months.
good.
Kempachi,
So now
thank you
let's
for
dive
this here.
into gods a
3,
little
2
bit,
months, and
starting with,
Raviol. I think I got you
kind
the
of a
bigger
general
than
change,
5.
not so much to a god, but to an array of gods across the mage variety.
So, do you
God
want to take this
changes?
one?
Yeah,
I
sure.
like it
God
is.
changes?
Yeah. So the two main points that we had were the tank proc items, and that's something that we want to continuously look at. So we're not necessarily done with Glorious Pridwin.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to address the other Pridwins. Maybe we need to have a look at like Gladiator Shield or something.
I don't mind this at all.
We want to keep that in mind. The other main topic that came out
This
of
is
the seasonal
actually
change
pretty
was,
smart
mages.
change for them.
Mages
Because
overall this
mages
year, it's
lost
been
too
really
much
interesting
power.
because, we saw
We've been saying this.
the change at the beginning of this year where hunters really weren't utilized, and then we saw double hunters crit going pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then we
We've
noticed
had so many different menaces this year already.
yeah,
It's been wild.
It's been pretty intense. But the one thing that has generally been a theme is that mages have been underutilized, underperforming, and not as
Yeah,
popular.
'cause you
before,
took
and I
away
think that's
half their
generally the
fucking
case
power.
Across, most game modes too.
This is
that
a
if you want to
ni-
pick up
nice
an
change.
ability hunter over mage, you still rather do that as well, even though they might need some help too.
Bro, they made
Now,
class
with the mage
passives
power
so
changes, with the power
bad
changes
after
in general,
nerfing them
mages
all
also
40
were hit-
times.
a little bit more than Hunters were. Because
not
Hunters
all
at
of
least
them,
still have
but
the
some of
in-hand
them so
attack, but you
bad.
can kind of fill the downtime between their abilities.
Yeah.
Mages, unless you're an auto attack mage or a basic attack mage, generally you don't see that as much, which is actually why we're seeing a little bit more all run and stuff like that. But we can come back to that later. So this change that we made was kind of one out of like 3 ways we could have solved the same issue.
Yeah.
Which is, we could solve it by items and tone back a little bit on all the items for mages, which would have just kind of flown in the face of what we were doing in the first place to reduce them.
Yeah.
We could have looked at specific items that they needed and just added a little bit more power there. But then that kind of just puts a little bit too much emphasis on items that like we're choosing for the community, or like it just makes build paths that might be more important than other ones if we're not doing all the items, right?
Got
So
it.
it's hard to just pick and choose like, okay, well, we're just making
Warrior's
this
passive is
item
the one that
open.
never got
The
nerfed.
meta item, yeah.
Yeah.
The mage class bonus actually solves this exact problem that we had.
Like, Hunter's
in
passive
the
got
exact
buffed.
way that we wanted
Assassins
to. I
got
know
nerfed into the
like,
ground.
community hasn't
Mages
been super
got
stoked
a
about
little
them per
nerfed,
se, or
right?
they want some more interesting ones. But honestly, this
Guardians
is
is
helping
kind
us
of poop.
really with the pressure valve that we needed. So
Yeah.
mages are going to be gaining more power over the course of the game, smoothly over time, to an extra 20 by level 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, super handy. And I mean, what a great way to utilize that, right? Like bringing those in helped us diversify class.
Warrior
roles and
passive is
specify
10%
what each
cooldown at
class
max
kind of
level
help
20.
move them in the direction
Guardian
that
one
they
is
usually
CCR.
play without removing their ability to flex. But how nice to have that now after such a
I think
huge
it's 10% at
change.
max
You don't
rank.
have to start looking. What do we have to revert? You have another avenue. Like
It's just there.
Yeah,
you
it's
don't even have
super
to think
cool.
about it.
Between Soul Reaver still being pretty good, between the percent pen changes that we did do in
Bonus?
Precipice in bonus, and also just in the season itself,
Yeah.
going back to the previous amounts, mages should be in a healthier spot with this. We're going to keep monitoring as usual.
all the
Oh.
time. Like I said, as somebody who talks to y'all,
No, Warrior's not 20%
I'm not, like, in the
cooldown.
design
Guardian
world
might be
like y'all
20%
are.
CCR
How
though.
you balance all of these things and juggle all of these. We have pin and crit and all this. It's flabbergasting. So
It's a lot of data. A lot of numbies.
round of applause, y'all. Clappers in chat for these people. So. Cool. Well, let's get into some specific gods then, starting with not a mage, Amaterasu getting a bit of a buff. No AJ here to you're out there, AJ.
Well, AJ's not here right now to be very excited
Psych
about
this one up,
yeah, right.
We've noticed that auto attack warriors a little bit are not doing as hot as their counterparts. Bluestone has been a very prominent part of the meta, and obviously you're not really building Bluestone on a basic attack warrior. So we wanted to give Ama a little bit of help, specifically with her clear. And so you thought about doing it on the mirror, but instead we're going to be doing it on Glorious Charge, so that it gives you a little bit of flexibility. All your eggs aren't in one basket.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit of a damage increase and a
So
cooldown
you're gonna
reduction
make
as well by 1
jungle
second.
Ama
So
good.
overall, just a little bit more help if you do want to full commit to that clear.
This
by
isn't
dashing
really gonna
away
do
with your shield
anything,
up,
I
you're
don't
gonna be able
think.
to do that with a little bit more efficacy.
Maybe your
especially
level
towards
1
the
and
early
2
game.
clear
Got it.
is
Sounds
better.
good. So next
If you're
up,
taking the 3, it's a
Bastet,
cancelled
cutting out
ability.
claws, I guess. What's going on there? With
Well,
the claws?
Kitty's claws were like, trimmed a little bit
Why?
from before. So
That's true.
She's sharpening them up again. And honestly, that's what it comes down to. Is Bastet is always
Why?
kind of, whenever she's good, she's a powerhouse in the early to mid game,
Very
and
much
generally tends to fall off, especially unless she's like just getting ahead and she's snowballing.
She doesn't
just
fall
adding-
off because
adding
of
a
her
little bit more power
damage.
to the ticks of the
She
Razor,
falls
which
off
should help
because of the way her
more
kit
towards the late
works.
game, and that's what we're really
If
trying
she
to enforce,
falls
make sure
off.
she doesn't fall off.
It's a
so
delayed
drastically.
kit, it's not
okay
instant
for gods to have
damage.
strengths and weaknesses, but her weaknesses were
You
pretty
have to
heavy.
slowly get your 2 off.
Awesome.
Slowly
Well,
throw your
kind of
3
an
out.
exact 180. We're going to the doghouse now for Cerberus getting a
It's a
buff as
weird
well.
ass change.
Yeah,
What the
Serba
fuck?
has not been doing too hot across the board, and you would think he would again, from a healing meta, but he's
Yeah.
fallen off quite a bit, and so we want to give him a little bit of health back. So what we're going to do is Paralyzing Spit is going to have a decreased cooldown, so it's going to stay the same at rank 1, but as you rank it up, it's going to go down, and this ability is notoriously relatively hard to hit, I would say,
Yeah.
considering you have to hit all 4 of those little projectiles
Yeah.
to get the stun, but it's going to be very helpful in terms of your lane clear. This could help you in solo or support, depending on what your matchup is looking like. And additionally, Ghastly Breath is also getting a cooldown
Scream said
decrease
Martial
because,
does
again,
more than
this
Basset's.
is going to just depend on your matchup. Can Ghastly Breath get interrupted?
Base numbers,
you'll just have
maybe.
it up a little bit more often, regardless of the situation, but it's not so punishing if it does get interrupted now.
Got it.
Wait, are they not
Always
going to
a fan
nerf
of cooldowns,
Martiker's
so.
ult in this?
Rygene next up. I haven't heard a lot.
If
from
they don't
Rygene
nerf
recently,
Martiker's
so-
ult, whoever
Okay.
decides this deserves something bad.
All right,
Like
well,
a pile of
so
shit at their
Rygen's
front
kind
door.
of been the bottom of the tier list for a while, unfortunately for him.
My drummer boy.
But he does deserve a little bit of love. So this is going to be on Percussive Storm, which is his clear ability, giving it a little bit of extra scaling because, again, this ability does take a while to go off. He's got to go through the beats, right? He's got to respect the measures
Increased
on
magic
the...
power
on the
scaling by
Can't rush
5% per hit. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that's not crazy.
So we want to just give him a little bit of extra reward
They're
there.
trying to
5%
overbuff
scaling
his
per hit
damage
is
because
pretty
his
significant
abilities
across
make
the
him
whole
so
ability, but
susceptible
again,
to
it
dying.
does take time to go off, so it's not going to feel as scary as that sounds, right? Because again, you have the chance to juke it, but he just needed.
I said Marticarus ultimate nerf so many times. It started off doing like 2,500 base damage with
This is the
scaling.
math one.
There's another one later on. If you're wondering why, I was just looking ahead. Yeah, so Tiamat is one out of 2 gods, and we're addressing them here as well. That, the community, again, was outcrying for a little bit of changes to their passives, because with the power shifts, again, blah, 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 like the numbers don't scale as well. You're getting less, you need more things. So we took that to heart. I think in both of these cases, it's more of kind of like a nod towards the community. It's not to making sure that this feels more fair. These gods might not necessarily need heavy buffs right now, especially in the SPL. Mages weren't doing so good. TMO was like kind of okay. Honestly, she's actually doing a little bit worse than the next one, which we'll get to. But the passive here is it's a 1% scaling change for magical power, which is going from 5% to 6%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the big number takeaways, you need 100 less magical power to reach the cap than you did previously. And that's pretty much more around the amount or more than we reduce from items across the board.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll help. Also, just a small description clarity concern there is that it was listed as 25% as the previous cap. It was actually working as 30% for a little while now. I didn't dig to find out exactly when, but there was an error sometime in the past. We fixed the description.
It'll happen.
It's always been a cap of the 30%. So just a 1% power conversion there.
Yeah, it's like you said, 1% sounds so small when you say it, but then you blow it up to 100
It's like redress. Like I looked at the math. I talked to the programming team. I'm like, just want to make sure I'm not really messing this one up, right? It's like, no.
That's another thing these people do. They
ran the
it's
math
just
a few
math.
times.
They'll be like, oh, yeah, well, the math behind it. And I really try to listen, and then, like, I just feel like I'm slowly going, like, yeah.
Listen, the math is complicated, but to be good at Smite, you don't have to know the math.
That's true.
You just gotta
To balance it, you got to know. That's why.
100 less magical power. We're good.
All right, cool. Well, let's move on to Uller, also
This
getting
is actually
a
pretty spicy.
Yeah, this is a very, very cool buff, if you ask me. So Uller has been doing not so great lately. Ability hunters overall not so great, but
not so
Uller is the kind of character that lives on a very fine line.
This
where he's
isn't the
either
cool part of the buff, I'm
incredibly
gonna assume.
very good or incredibly very bad. And right now he's unfortunately incredibly very bad.
What'll happen?
And so what we're going to do is that we have a small scaling buff here because, again, he does need a little bit more damage, especially because he is so power-oriented. He really does not build into that attack speed, basic attack style. He can work like that. He's just not as good like that.
Not his usual thing.
Not his thing. So we are going to give a 10% scaling buff to Hail of Arrows, but also for his ultimate wield axes and wield bow, Uller is going to follow the trope of his other Norse counterparts that have stance switching, your tier, and your
that's
health,
OP.
and he's going to gain half of the benefits of the other stance. So your extra lifesteal, you're going to get some lifesteal and bow stance, and you're also going to get some attack speed and X stance.
Yep.
So it's going to be very interesting to see people use that. So I'm really excited for that.
Excited to see
might
the
actually
plays
be
before the
OP.
plays start coming out. Uller's back.
That's
into
gonna be
that.
OP.
And also, like, while we did increase a little bit of damage, this
Well,
spicy
might be
change
OP
doesn't
now.
just give him even more
Yes,
damage, right?
exactly.
It's a little bit of a utility. It's a little bit of something different that helps round him out a little bit more, because him being so heavily damaged and ability focused is obviously gotten to
You
be
kind of you put him in a box, and when the box is crumpled up and torn, he's just bad. But we're trying to make the box at least a little bit bigger, so this whole surface area is not always as messed up.
draw
I'm trying to
with-
make
I
an
believe that analogy works. I believe it.
Yeah. We all got
Hell
it.
yeah.
So.
Excellent. Okay, good.
All right, so let's move on. We mentioned earlier above Alaron, who's also getting
Yes.
Yeah, all right. You want to do more math clumps?
No, that's why I saw these two were opposite of each other, so
Hop
I went
on
ahead and
it.
took both. Also ones that I worked on, so I guess that's fun for me.
Yeah, this is your fault.
my bad. So yeah, Olaron, another one of the 2 gods, and one of the 2 mages specifically that we wanted to address with the power concerns, similarly like the same thing with Tiamat. Instead of the mitigations, also only in the ground stance for Tiamat, Olaron has the issue with his critical hit chance.
Yeah.
Now, I had this debate like back and forth with different people on, one, is it a necessity for an Olaron to hit the cap of crit chance? And in my honest opinion is I don't think you ever need to hit the cap. It's not a necessity for hunters to hit like critical hit chance. If you're getting towards it, that's what the cap is just there as a safety valve. That being said, the power changes have kind of pushed that conversation even further.
Yep.
So where it's now quite prohibitive to even reach like kind of close to the cap. So this time we've kind of reversed it on its head a little bit. We're actually for 2 reasons we're changing the scaling from a 1% conversion for 10 magical power to 2%. Again, a 1% change, but what this really means is that you're going to be getting
What do you think of the patch?
you need half the amount of magical
Yeah,
power
poo-poo?
as you did to
patch?
fulfill to that passive. And that sounds
Not
like
a
a
poop
pretty
patch?
intense change from what we were talking about. But it also
Good
helps
patch?
to kind of bridge the gap between that discussion that was kind of
This is a good
an
patch?
issue, which is now you kind of are designed to
This is a
be
good
hitting
patch?
critical hit, not just cap, but larger amounts of it.
Yeah.
And now you can do that a little bit more easily. The threshold on the floor is also going to be decreased to make that kind of ramp up into the game a bit faster. So now we're kind of expecting Olaruns to crit more often, and due to that, this is actually a little bit of a shift because Olaruns critical hit damage multiplier is being reduced from 1.5 to 1.3. That's another valve that we've used a lot to kind of increase or decrease Olaruns' strength, and it's been very useful for us because honestly, whenever he gets a little bit too strong, that's what he kind of is featured to do the most, right? Olaruns critting is actually kind of one of his greatest strengths, other than his ultimate. So with those mechanisms in place, Olorun will be critting more often. It'll be easier to hit that crit chance cap or to large amounts, but the damage he'll be doing is going to be less. And then the last thing as well is by doing it from 1% straight to 2% and not anywhere in between, it makes it still quite easy to understand for players playing with Olorun or against Olorun where he is on that crit hit chance cap. Because now you can just be like, oh, he's got 10 power, or whatever maybe it's in increments of 10 again still without it being in decimals.
Got it. I mean, cool. Yeah, like you said, it's Olorun's a lot. Definitely not like out of the purviews of who I usually play, but I've played against a couple, and yeah, it's or had them on my team, and it's an interesting. He lives kind of in his own area, I think. I mean, among magical attackers, but with that ult and the way that he handles his crit, it's definitely a very unique experience. So it's cool to see that he's being helped lean into that mechanic that's kind of exclusively his, while it's also not going to be completely crushing.
Yeah. So previously we were talking about
I don't think
buffs.
Olorun
is our
comes
first
back
shift.
off of changes. I think items are going to make Olorun and those gods just too
Starting
weak.
off the nerfs, we have Achilles.
Yes, so we've heard the community
Achilles 2 is
sentiment
getting
around
nerfed,
the changes that Achilles received in the 10.6 update. So I
Yep.
wanted to address one of the things that we talked about that we would possibly address in the future if we saw certain characters had outstanding bits, and that's the natural protections and power that are inside of God kits. And so Achilles, with Gift of the Gods, had free protections, had free power. So we're just knocking that down a little bit, a little bit.
Toning it down.
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
Oh, it's his passive.
Yeah, good to hear. Achilles, every time he executes me, I'm like, go away. I don't care.
I feel like the 2 is all you just nerf on him. You don't even have to nerf it too much for people to stop crying.
Very hot.
That skin. Yep.
It's great. All right, so next up on the nerf list, Hachiman.
Yeah, I mean, Hachiman got some pretty spicy changes to his passive.
That's the passive, because
they
the 2
were
is
just a little bit
percentages.
Too spicy, so we're toning that down a little bit. The amount of attack speed that he got, for free as something new was a little bit too high. We're cutting that in half, which is still providing him a lot of attack speed, but not nearly as much as it was.
It's still more than
Holy
nothing that he had before.
Exactly.
True. Finding that happy little medium.
Yeah.
So, next up on the nerf bucket, we have Ravana getting a little bit of nerf. Ravana's been scary.
Yes, this is another character that we've heard quite a lot about from the community. So we do think that this shield change, did help him quite a lot. It makes him very viable in tanky roles, especially when he can just keep punching away, keep getting more shield.
Wait, 1% nerf per
like
stack?
that he is feeling playable right now. We just don't want him to be overwhelmingly playable.
Wait,
so we are gonna,
it's
go
3 stacks,
halfsies
right?
on the change from last time. So we are
It's
going
only 3%.
instead of the 2% that he got before, we're going back 1%, and we're keeping a very close eye on him to see exactly how much this affects him, if we need to do more. But we are happy to see him in play. We just want to make sure that he's not going crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, Smite is the
Bro,
game, but
the
all those
shield's
punches
gonna
and
look
kicks have
like
dealt a lot of
this
emotional damage
instead
to me.
of
queuing arena, and he is just pummeling me. So I limped back to base.
shit.
Like, no, please. So, yeah, cool. Glad to see it. The last nerf we're looking at here is
fuck.
Tyr.
Where's the Martigris
we
all
gave
nerf?
Tyr some new things on his ulti, and it's been
It's
pretty
good.
impactful. And if you look at his ulti cooldowns, like in the old days, they
That's a good
scale down to
change.
a pretty low amount.
This is a good
So
change.
we're not talking about raw level,
But,
but
where's the Yorm
kind of
nerf?
work. So I think
The Kali
normalizing
nerf?
it to 90 seconds across all ranks just helps make it feel not so crazy when he does get to use his ulti.
Martigris
Yeah,
nerf.
it helps. It's
Someone
it's fun to
calling
be able to
nerf.
use it. It's good to have it, but when it's that frequent, it can be really oppressive.
Yeah.
So, cool. Sounds good. Well, that brings us to an end of our balance. So good stuff, guys. Excited to see again. With how huge the last change was, being able to now take a step back, take in the user data, that info from y'all in the community, and solo in on some of the things that kind of
Told me
exploded.
no.
So
Yeah, that's all the balance.
That's
They're
the
gonna
cool
show the
thing
new
about
god.
Glorious
I'm assuming in
Privilege.
skins.
Twice.
Twice.
Twice. The one that explodes twice.
Exactly.
So next up, we have a new event to talk about called CHARON's Journey, named after the
Oh,
Bow Boy. But let's check out some skins before we get there.
Oh, why, hello there.
Dude, that looks like the Winnie the Pooh movie. Like skin for Winnie the Pooh.
Teddy, go!
Kind of sounds like it too.
Greetings, traveler.
Trash.
I am a humble seeker of knowledge and wisdom. What brings you to my doorstep? Let me guide you.
It is time to end this.
Decent.
If you fight without conviction, you are sure
Weapons look
to
cool,
fall.
so decent.
Are you tired of living life with no spark? Look no
Oh,
further
what
than Thunder
the
Rage,
fuck?
the ultimate energy drink that will unleash the beast within you!
You're in my city now, and if you want to survive, you better learn to play by my rules.
I actually like that Horus
Can't
skin.
be too careful on these.
I hate the Horus skins that are in the game right now.
Welcome.
All right, the Thor skin. What?
He came back.
Hey, come here.
That was so good. All right. So a lot of cool skins on the docket, a lot of cool skins coming out in the next update. You just saw a bunch of them, some from this new event, one from the bonus update, which we'll get to in a little bit. Or maybe you didn't see that one actually, but we'll show it to you anyway. It's cool, spoiler. So this is called CHARON's Journey in celebration of our rivermen flowing or
The
making
chicken
this journey
skin
to
is
the
all right.
battleground
Whatever,
of
the
gods.
chicken
We
farmer
wanted to have
bullshit
an
skin
event
for
with all
horses is
these really
okay,
cool
but it's
skins.
not great.
So like a lot of events of the past, for those who are familiar with events, there is a bunch of different cosmetics and skins you can get. And including an award skin, which is the Barely Alive Bacchus skin, which you've seen. So our scary zombie bear, which is
He's
really
kind of
cool.
cute. He goes a little
kinda
hard
cute.
on him.
Yeah, he's a zombie bear, but he has a pleasant demeanor, you know? It's not like he's looming
He's really
over-
happy to be alive.
Yeah, to be
Unalive?
unalive. That's
Real life?
Real
the
life.
line is blurred. But yeah, so you know, as you go through that event, there will be different cosmetics you can purchase, chests you can roll, and
Catson,
once you
thank you for the
get a
17.
certain number of skins, you will be able
Deadly,
to
thank you for the 14. Blight, thank you for the 4.
So,
Cody, thank you for the
you know,
9.
look forward
Razor,
to
thank you for the
that
3.
coming up
Bullseye,
in
thank you for the
next
7.
update. But let's
Champ,
preview
3
some of the
months.
skins, just take a little bit of a
Dylan,
closer
what was
look
that?
at some
There
card
we go,
art.
14
Starting
months.
with Atlas. You know I love Atlas. That's my boy.
Ooh.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Dude.
that right there is the Solar Vanguard.
I feel like
And that is, I absolutely love
I'm
it.
getting to the
That's a little
point with these
cornish
Smite
chassis,
skins
like,
where they've just
powered
been
by
done
some
on
kind
other
of,
gods that it's so boring.
Astral energy. I mean, it makes sense, you know.
You know what I mean? Like even if it's cool for
I
the
love this
god, I've
Astrolabe with a
seen
black hole, and he
like
has,
Zeus has a
he's
skin
got a
like this.
utility belt. What
Like
do you
why
think
do
he
I? I just don't. It's not
Gummy
cool
bears.
anymore. I don't. If I was gonna spend my money on it, I wouldn't buy something like this.
You know
You're
what?
just hungry.
That's
Yeah, it
canon
might
now.
be.
This is a designer, so that's canon now. So those are gummy bear
How
pockets.
that works.
It's how I
Like
said
we
it works.
like the only
alright,
way you
so
get
next
hyped
up,
off of
let's
this is
check
if the
out,
abilities look unique in some way
Smite.
that's different.
Oh, this one's
Oh, this
so
one's great.
cool.
Chaotic Surge Poseidon. Look at that Kraken.
Yeah.
Bloodstone.
Speaking
Card
of
art
what
for
you
this
are
is sick,
seeing,
but
there's
what's it look
something
like
that
in
also
game?
You're not seeing, and those are his legs.
And those
They're
are his
gone.
legs.
They're not there.
They're not there. Homeboy ain't got legs.
This skin is so awesome. I didn't. I was a little worried at first because I was like,
This
"Oh
patch
God,
is
is
gonna be
he gonna,
heavily
like,
focused on the new
portray
gods. The new god better be
Poseidon Very
amazing.
well, and you know what? In game, it looks awesome, and it does feel exactly like Poseidon. He just, doesn't need legs.
Yeah.
You like made of blood
He's made of some like
or Kool-Aid or something?
Kool-Aid.
some goop.
Some good.
That's terrifying. His blood sword's really cool though.
It's kind of like a new take on the Infinite skins, where like
gotcha.
he's not so much like the shiny astral energy as he is like
Down.
this chaotic
Yeah,
energy.
that's cool.
I'm never gonna be able to shake goop. So all right, let's look at another one. Let's we saw him a little bit earlier, but let's check out Barely Alive Bacchus again.
Nice.
This skin.
Is that so? That's the heart you're talking about?
Yeah.
He wears his heart on his tummy.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
But don't we all? True.
He's kind of cute. I'm gonna stand by it. He's cute.
You know what? Take your stance. I don't think the person crouching behind the corner there thinks he's cute. They look a little terrified.
You probably just want some honey, okay?
Yeah.
Listen, just give him the honey.
Where are the bees? All right, let's check this one out.
Why is
in
this
game.
not released around
In
Halloween?
game.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh.
look at him.
Oh, it's so
Oh, the
sickly.
green is actually really cool.
Okay, so it's not honey. Confirmed.
No.
honey. No, it's undead honey
Yeah.
From Undead Bees.
from undead bees. Locally sourced.
Okay.
Those
Did you
balls
see
are
how the
balls.
Bacchus
Oh,
flop
God.
like glitches
What
through
is
the
in
air?
there?
How many
There's no
bones
way
a
it's
bear
meant to be
got?
like that, right?
I don't know if that's the bear's bones.
Devouring.
Okay.
Oh, it's like spine is showing. Oh my god.
Because it does that on every
Okay,
skin.
He's still cute.
So cute. I mean, we need to know.
I'm gonna say yes.
All right.
Gonna regret
Sticking
it.
to it.
You know what?
I'm gonna double down.
So yeah, again, this is the reward skin for the CHARON's Journey event. So
Yeah.
look out for this spooky, apparently cute fella coming out soon. But we have another card art I want to look at, and that's for Dark Prism E-Shell.
Oh, this is Shell's first skin, right?
E-Shell's first
Yeah.
skin. Couldn't not show it off, right?
This
Also
skin,
had to be purple.
It had to
we
be
love
purple.
we do be loving
We
purple.
do be loving the purple. So super duper excited to see her get the first skin. I'm really excited to see what all the effects look like, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
Going
yeah.
from casting all the rainbows and stuff to something that looks a little darker with all those purples and stuff. Definitely curious. So curious, in fact, that we're gonna go in game and check it out.
Nice.
Yay!
Let's take a little dive in.
Oh, they're kind of like moonbeams, but like black hole moonbeams.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
very
like
black hole.
Like you still have a little bit of the light themes of her, the prismatic themes, right?
Oh.
Oh,
that's
Okay,
That's
all the
actually
purples, dude.
Yeah, it's like a purple to white gradient.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
That is gorgeous.
That is super gorgeous.
And of course, the moon still makes sense.
Yeah.
This is not a
Always
skin
loved,
worth
like,
money.
all of- like just the way that all of her
Oh,
It's
UI
purple.
show.
purple things.
So no matter what kind of purple you like, we got you covered.
Got all of them.
Oh, that's so
That
cool.
looks cool.
The idea of
That's really
spending money
intense,
on
I love
this.
It does. This is, I mean,
Like-
I say
like-
this with every skin because I'm a curious
would buy
person,
this?
but every time there's a new skin, or a new god, I guess is what I meant to say, I'm excited to see their first skin because of how creative our team is and how fun it is to see all of their abilities and effects shown with new color and new light. So, immediately, absolutely. So
Someone who
we
likes
have
purple?
one more card art I wanted to show y'all. This is for the bonus update, and this is
Card art
Shinobi
for that.
Slayer
This skin's not even
Shinobi.
good. Like the overall skin is boring.
So I just wanted to show our Dark Ninja boy.
Dude, he looks badass.
Yeah,
he does.
He slays shinobis. It's just a hobby of his, you know.
Isn't he also a shinobi though?
Well, takes
Other.
to slay one.
He's gotta
Takes
be
one
the
to-
best, you know.
Yeah, exactly. He's
Yeah.
rising to the top.
There can only be one.
It's like a ranking. It's a leaderboard. It's very internal. You got to be part of the shinobi.
It's a dual
community.
tournament. Got it.
But yeah, so again, this will be in the bonus update. You'll be seeing this in a couple weeks. But just wanted to
Yay.
show y'all, you know, because
So cool.
always better to show it off. I love being able to show stuff. That's why I love the show so much. So
Heck yeah.
super excited for that.
Rubber ducky,
but,
thank you for the 60 months.
But y'all have all been waiting for something. Y'all all have something in your heart that you want to see, and
You're a
it's the
skin
man on the
whore.
boat. I'm talking CHARON, the ferryman. So let's show that off right after this cool little video.
There we go.
Coins is all that it costs to enter the Elysian fields. 2 coins, no more, no less. That is the toll CHARON expects. The ferryman of Hades is a simple being at heart. He has but one task and does it well. Neither judge nor jury, he is a fixed point in the cosmology of the underworld, a deliverer of souls to their final rest, so long as the proper rites have been performed and payment made. But attempting to board his craft without permission or payment is sure to arouse his wrath, which is never far from the surface. This is not to say that CHARON is as irascible as some stories claim. Rather, he is a professional, a being of boundaries and permissions. To cross one, you must have the other. But those who defy the ancient laws which govern the threshold between the living and dead find that CHARON is the first to confront them, and often the last. Yet, while he is a bellicose defender of the underworld's sanctity, he has also been known to console the souls of the grieving or the frightened. Though he is fearsome, CHARON is not frightening. The souls of the dead have nothing to fear from him. He is both guardian and escort in one. He has guided his boat along the shadowed lengths of the Styx and the Acheron for millennia, and souls who book passage upon his craft are thenceforth under his protection against the myriad dangers of the underworld. To ride with CHARON is to be ensured a safe journey to one's ultimate and final destination. But the time is coming where CHARON must sail on unfamiliar waters. The pantheons are in upheaval, and the souls of the fallen are at the mercy of unfriendly forces. So the ferryman must set forth and bring these lost souls home, whatever the cost.
We're back, and that was CHARON the Boatman's lore. So I have an arm now because they told me I could have one. So super excited. We've been waiting for this for a long time. As a Guardian stan, I'm super excited to see CHARON finally reach the battleground. next Tuesday, but that's like whatever. That's super close. But let's get into this. So, learn me. This is your baby. This is another one of your god creations.
I'm
what
so
was
excited.
what was the path leading to CHARON? How did this happen?
So we had a lot of discussions about who would be the Guardian for this year, and we kind of determined that we were balancing between a couple options, and then we decided that CHARON was just a very cool choice, not only because he's just a really sick character in mythology, but because he also is just a character that has some funny Smite lore, if you will.
Right.
So, his actual lore is that he's the ferryman of the Greek underworld.
Yeah.
He is the one that is responsible for moving the souls throughout the 5 rivers of Hades, getting them to where they need to go. And he basically just requires a toll to get on the boat. And he makes sure that all the order is safe and sound in Hades, that souls are getting to where they're supposed to be, and they're not getting too rowdy either. So, specifically, he does a really great job. He interacts with a lot of different gods that are already in Smite. He interacts with Hermes or Mercury, especially to collect up some of the more important souls that come to him. He'll also work with Thanatos, who brings everyone else, the peons, if you will. And then he brings them past Cerberus onto the various layers of Hades. Of course, he replies directly to Hades as his boss, his manager, if you will.
The manager.
And he does also get to convene with Persephone and all the other underworld deities, if you will. But, considering the Season of Souls has let all the souls kind of come up to the mortal realm,
all over the place.
CHARON's got to do something about that,
He's gotta
right?
come take care of
He's going to come to the battleground. He'll take care of it. He doesn't even need a toll from you silly mortals,
Well, it's funny that you keep mentioning tolls, because I like CHARON because he's one of the few gods that exists that has, a pension plan and 401k matching. Like, he's got a job, so how exciting for him. But we've talked about him. We've shared all these trailers and stuff. Is it time to go in game?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Let's dive in
I'm
game
so
and check him out. I'm excited.
There he is.
There he is. You know what? Like we like to do, let's just see the kid. Let's blow this kid up.
Sure.
Throw it out there. That is so cool.
And that's the kid, everybody. No further explanation
We knew
needed,
most
right?
of
We
the
can
kid
just,
because they posted this videos at the beginning of patch notes.
All right,
but
I'm kidding.
No, yeah. So let's.
I don't know what he just
We
did.
saw a lot of really cool stuff there, and we're still seeing it. I mean, like we told y'all, the boat never goes away. My boy is boating all the time, 24/7.
Oh yeah, this is a huge challenge.
There's no way his damage numbers are high,
We
bro.
wanted to do this from the get-go, where we always wanted him to be on the boat, and so
No
that
way.
created some challenges, right? It's like, how do we tie the fairy to the man? How do we make sure that he feels like a really concise, cool character? And you'll see here that he does a lot of really interesting little animations. He's got some effects touches all across the board, and he just turned out so sick. I'm so proud of all our various teams. And this jump sound, by the way, is just it's so
It's got the boat
satisfying.
noise.
His base
It's got
damage
like a
isn't
little
really high.
kerplunk, kerplunk.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
literally
fun.
spent all weekend in a canoe, and like boat noises I have been hearing. This is so real. It's so cool.
Yeah, I'm just so proud of our various teams and how they came together to take on such a challenging visual.
He's got a lot. All of his abilities do damage, though.
But that's enough about the visuals. Let's talk about the kid a little
Let's
bit
talk
more,
about the
shall we?
kid. I mean, we'll start with the very simple. Let's go with the basic attacks. I see him splashing people with that ore.
So CHARON has traditional ranged basic attacks. They are
What?
just basic attacks, but they're ranged. It's pretty unique for a Guardian to have ranged basics.
Have fun with your fucking shitters playing.
His are like AoEs.
Yeah,
You're
Yamoja
gonna have no
also
front
has
line.
these
People are gonna
kind
be
of
playing this god
normal
really
basic attacks,
incorrectly.
but she does have a little extra component where if you basic to allies, it does something.
Yeah.
This is
No
just
world you're saying
standard
yes. When,
ranged
have you seen
basic
people play
attacks. We thought
Yamoja?
that this worked out really well for CHARON because he kind of
seen your
he's on a
average
boat,
player
right?
play
He
Yamoja?
has
'Cause
this
they're
area in
all
front of him that
trash.
makes it a little bit difficult to be in melee range, so we wanted to kind of give you the best of both worlds, where it kind of looks like if they're getting close to the boat, you slap them with the oar. If they're far away, they get hit by a scary deluge of water. River Styx water, especially. That was the other challenge, is incorporating the River Styx water into the boat and making the boat feel like it's actually, boating around, even though
not
he
just
is
dragging
technically
across.
Tell yeah, that one too,
on
please.
land, but
I'll check,
he's
but
making
I'm
a
not
little
sure.
trail behind him.
Yeah, that's super awesome. So I guess next we'll dive into the passive. So what's his passive?
Yes, CHARON's passive is Ferryman of Souls, and so this will require some minions or some jungle camps here, but basically how this works is that whenever CHARON is in assist range when a friendly lane minion or a neutral jungle monster dies, yes, both of them, they will leave behind their soul in the form of a coin on the ground. And so CHARON is able to pick up these coins, and each time that he does, he gets 1 gold in his pocket, and he keeps a special soul stack. And he can have up to 20 of these soul stacks. And so you're probably wondering, what the heck do I do with these soul stacks? Well, anytime that you take a soul stack back to base, you trade it in and then you get 2 max health permanently throughout the rest of the game. So you can see here, picking up some souls. That passive meter number has lit up to be 3. He's picked up 3 coins, some tolls. And when you go back to base,
Bro,
which,
we
look at this
just
animation,
talked
by the
about
way,
this
so
the other
cool.
day.
You turn him in.
We
that
were
is
just talking
6
about
extra
this
max
the other
health for the
fucking
rest of the
day
game. And
about having a god who
you'll
could
see as well
unlimitedly
that you
stack
can
their
only have up to
HP.
350 max health gained this way.
Infinite. That's good.
Yes.
That's all
Oh, it's
I would
only
do is stay in
350?
Lane and farm minions.
Yes, and even if you're ever at maxed soul
Never mind,
stacks,
boring.
you still will get gold, even if you hit that cap.
Hi-Rez
So don't
literally
have
knows
to
how to
worry
ruin
about being
everything,
super
bro.
extra efficient with this, but
They
you know, when you hit
literally
20,
ruin
it's
everything.
nice to go back to base and get that nice little refresh, get a nice 40
Yeah.
extra max HP, and again, that lasts for the entire rest of the game.
That is super duper awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I had something I was going to say, but it just kind of sums down to I'm excited. Although I do have it on good authority that my soul is actually worth 6 dimes and 4 pennies.
Oh.
So, you know, if I happen to die,
Well, that's not
No,
one
it's
oboe,
still a
so
good
I'm so
passive,
sorry,
but
but
it,
you're not gonna
it
make
could have been super fucking like
Okay.
OP to use right.
All
I
right,
mean,
well,
how
now that I'm
long is it
on
going to
top-
take
We'll
you
have to
to
go
get
to
350? Are you going to be
I gotta
getting
go to the
350
exchange.
consistently
Yeah,
as a
I'll
support
hit the
player?
ATM. So let's go to the first ability, Spectral Surge.
Yes, so this AO1 is a line projectile that explodes if it hits an enemy god. So basically, it'll just do normal damage if it's just passing through minions. This can also go through walls. But as soon as you shoot it over an enemy god, you'll see there's a circle that appears. And so, inside of this circle, anyone that gets hit by it does take damage. You don't get double hit if you get hit by the projectile and the explosion.
Okay.
And then you get silenced for 1 second.
Oh, that's kind
On
of sick.
top of that, though, you can see there's a little ground particle and some extra damage going on. And so what's happening here is that every time that you move while you are affected by this debuff,
Why are they not? Huh?
it's probably lagging a little bit. Oh no.
I may have broken.
Oh no.
You should be able to bots orbit 0 and it might fix it.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. A little bit difficult to show here, folks, but you gotta trust me on this one. Anytime that you move, you'll make a new puddle. And every time that you make a new puddle, you'll take damage. And so you also will take damage for the duration of the puddle, however long that lasts. And be slowed
so
as
another
well. So
random dot
this
ticking on you
is
like
effectively
Contagion?
slow, silent puddle.
And what I'd argue is the strongest ability because he splashes you and then you have to run around with wet socks.
Oh no.
Not the wet
terrible.
socks ability.
Wet
hate
socks
this.
ability. All right, that's super cool though. I like the trailing because if you know you're in a team fight in the jungle and you hit like 3 people and all
Yeah.
of a sudden everywhere you step is just
Yeah.
oh, that's super awesome. All right, excited to play with that. Next up, we have the second ability, Damnation.
Yeah, so this one's super cool. So what CHARON does here is he opens up a rift to the underworld and calls upon some spirits to haunt whoever is in the area. So it does damage, and it also then marks whatever enemy is in the area, as you shall see here momentarily. There's our opening the rift to the underworld. And if an enemy gets hit, there's a little skull on their head. That's their little mark.
That's a spooky boy.
They're haunted here. And so what happens when they're haunted is that they are revealed, and their attack speed's also slow. But on top of that, if you, as CHARON, or any of your allies, damages anyone that is marked, you get a shield.
Ooh, that's
Ooh,
cool.
Yeah, and so how
okay.
this shield worked is that there is an initial value that you get,
Great.
and every
More
subsequent
shields.
shield gives you 25% of that value. So you can keep stacking up that shield, keep fighting back if you want to, but you're only going to get 25% of that initial
gonna
hit.
be
So it
pretty
is
damn
important to
good.
get hit that one time, get that nice
That's
little
scaling,
buff,
yeah,
and
if it's
then if you
scaling
wanna
off his
walk away, you can
HP,
walk
and
away, or you
wait,
can
this guy,
fight
dude,
into
okay,
him.
wait,
Again,
we might
their
finally have a
attack speed's
Guardian
slow,
building
they are
HP
revealed.
rather than
It's
just
a good
defense.
turnaround
Yeah.
ability for him.
It is super
Wait,
good
wait,
trade
wait,
ability.
wait. How much health are you gonna be able to build on this?
Yeah. All right, well that's super cool, and I like the little skull too. I don't know. He's got-
Okay,
he's got
yeah,
big
wait,
old-
erosion. Everyone's
Yeah,
just
so
gonna
this
build
works also
erosions.
once
Well, I guess
for
early game it's not
basic
gonna matter
attack
though.
or ability. It's not going to work multiple times if you have like Anubis one where you're taking a bunch. Only one time
Only
per
that first
ability.
time.
Tanks usually have 3.3k. Okay, so
all right,
say
so
they
next
drop
up we
or
have,
they
the
they
third
max out
ability, which I'm
HP rather than
super fond of,
defense. Are we talking like
Swift
4
Voyage.
point?
Yes, this
4K,
ability turned
4.5?
out so fun. So this is a dash ability where you, as CHARON, will forcibly row forward at a breakneck pace. And so you'll go forward with increased movement speed and reduced turn radius for a couple seconds there. And as you see, he's got a little bit of a wake going on at his side.
So cool.
So this ability is a root, but depending on how accurately you're hitting it, if you hold out that targeter for a second, you'll see there's a center line
Yeah.
and outer lines. That center line will root for 1 second, and the outer lines will root for half a second. And of course, as you'll see here, after rooting a bunch in a row, you will TR. So trust me, 1 second and 0.5 seconds, but yeah, you kind of just get to row people over with your boat,
Yeah.
and it's very, very fun.
accidents be happening.
I'm about to try a build on this god with like
I love it.
like max
insurance, it's
HP. Max.
Where do you think he puts all his coins?
Tippity top
Exactly.
HP.
Oh man, I'm so sad that
I want my teammates to have 1,000 health shields.
Everything about this is perfect,
consistently.
but we have to get here. We've been working towards this moment in time. It's the ult summon sticks.
This ability is so cool, and I'm so excited to see people play with it. So how this ability works is that CHARON charges for a fairly long duration. He gets crowd control immunity as well during this, and then he's going to summon a massive tidal wave that is global. So a lot of our times in playtests, we've had people try and cross-map snipe with this, which has been a lot of fun. And the other cool part of this is that
I'm actually digging this kit now.
Enemy with the wave,
they were saying he was going to be very straightforward, but it's
not towards CHARON, towards the direction that the wave is going. So you can see there, it's going and going and going and going and
going.
It's just going to go until it leaves the map, and then it's gone.
That is so awesome. And
but that's not the only thing it does. It
Please
does
keep
more.
going.
So you can also use this as a defensive tool to set up yourself and allies. The first thing that this does is anytime that you hit an ally with the wave, they gain some protections for a short amount of time. And if you decide that you also want to charge along with the wave, it has a 60-unit area behind it that grants you a pretty significant movement speed boost. So you can say, all right, boys, let's get in there. Drop the ultimate. Everyone's charging along, and one thing that you'll see Clumsy do here in a second
that
is
ult does good damage,
just
by
drop
the way.
ultimate and then 3 alongside it.
Not crazy,
you can
but
stick
5,
along
10,
this
and
if you have
50%
movement ability
scaling.
for a long, long time.
Here's you for 1.2 seconds.
It feels so epic to be able
Gives
to
40
charge in
protections,
alongside
gives
your
40%
team
movement
with
speed.
this wave, and especially if you're sending enemies back into you, they're going to get hit into a root, into a silence. He's got a lot of tools here, and as you'll notice, not a whole lot of damage. So he does have a lot of CC. He's very CC oriented. He's great at engaging. He's not so good at
I really like the ult. Yeah, TV, I really
good
I know it's like not crazy, but it fits for Smite so well. And that's dope.
He's there to help.
That looks fucking dope.
Neutral perspective.
Bro,
Because he's not a
I'm
good
about to
guy.
run
He's not
your
a bad
ass
guy
down
either.
in my boat.
He's just trying to keep order, you know, and this is how he's doing it, by fearing the enemy team back into you, giving ally shields, all that fun stuff.
That is so cool. And I can already think of, as an Atlas stan myself, and a Guardian lover, I can already think of a beautiful combo where you throw his global wave there.
Jumping in the boat
between
is
the water and
fucking
getting
dope.
a tan. I'm gonna call that the day at the beach combo. So
Hey.
super excited for that. But no, this is incredible. Again, I
His
love.
kit's
I
weird
love
though,
the
right? Because his
aesthetic.
hard
I love
CC is his
the
root.
I said
Like
this
he doesn't have a stun or a knockup.
a little while ago.
Fear too, but
Every
that's
time
part of his
I see
ult.
a new god come out, like Lancelot had a horse.
Is
and
he
every
gonna be a
time I face
harass
him for
Guardian? Like is he gonna be
Lance,
played like a
the horse,
Nox
I'm always
or
trying to hop on
or
it.
something
What
like
does it
that?
look like? How did they change the horse for the skin? And now I have a boat to do that with. I have a Guardian that I am already in.
He has a silence. Okay, true. He's got a silence and he's got a root. But no stun and no knockup.
The boat look
kind of
What's
like
the boat? That's the question, right?
get out of
But
jail free
I have to
card
give so many huge
CCs.
shout outs to the team that worked on
CCs.
CHARON
What is he
alongside me.
immune in his 3? Is he immune to
Our
knockups
programmer Nate
or
did a
anything?
phenomenal job. He also worked with me on the Martikaros, so this is the second god that we got a chance to work on together. Did phenomenal with the implementation. We had, of course, FX taken care of by Andrew.
To be fair, if he ults in 3s, you're not catching his ass.
By Dylan and Kellen, which is very exciting.
If he presses ult in 3, he's
Just
gone.
so many names
You
that I
might as
wanna
well just
shout out. I
fucking
would
back.
love to, but just know that our whole team is so excited for you guys to try CHARON. This
Yeah, he's gonna be a
well-requested
harass
figure
Guardian. He's
within
a lot of
mythology,
damage.
and I can't wait to
spam.
see clips of you guys hitting those cross map snipes. That's like the
I
thing
want
that
to play
I'm the most
this
excited
really
about.
bad.
It's gonna be incredible, and it took so long to work on it too, because the team took a group trip to the River Styx, and it's really hard to get back from there. So
Hey, but not impossible. You know, there have been myths of people doing that.
Yeah, is this clear about to be nuts? Is he gonna be a solo laner?
It worked out.
A boat.
But a boat, as it were. But all right, so let's look at some card art though. You know, we got to see the art for this. So something new.
This default art is so cool.
Incredible.
He looks so intimidating.
It does.
He's about ready to take all those coins.
And it's cool 'cause he's a skeleton, right? There's no meat on those bones, but he's such a bulky skeleton. Like CHARON, if he ever did have flesh, maybe he never has, but he was a big dude.
Yeah, that was actually one of the really cool challenges that we had, as our modelers and riggers can attest to, is that when we created CHARON, even though he's a skeleton, he does have kind of this meat suit. I don't really know how to describe it.
God, comfortable.
Where to make sure that we could future-proof skins, you know, if we were ever going to make him a human, we were ever going to make him anything but a skeleton, he wouldn't look strange with the proportions that he has. So it was a very important thing for us to do.
How much bonus gold is that a wave
and
with
that goes
support
alongside
starter?
all of the different props that he has as well with the boat, making sure that is
what is it,
really
4 bonus
easily,
gold,
you know,
like a creep?
dissectable to put it
Plus
into different
1
stuff.
extra
But yeah,
for
that
everyone
was
of your
a
own
huge
dying.
challenge for our team, and I'm really happy with how it came out. And I assume someday you'll see in the
Yeah,
future
1 from
what that will look
passive. Like, was it 4 from like the items? Wait, is it more from items?
Skeleton Charon, where he looks like a skeleton.
8 from items? 7 from items?
All right, well that's super cool though. See, that's just how much forethought goes into this stuff. Let's check out.
So 8 gold
every god launches with a
per
recolor
wave.
skin. Let's look at what that looks like.
Dude, I love this art so much.
That is so the like white and gold.
He feels so regal. He feels like, okay, so we've got like the normal Charon, we've got
hear
good
me out.
Charon, and then we'll see what the next one
As
is.
a jungler.
Actually, like mortal hands now.
That's
in
some
the
extra
river.
gold.
It's not the special ones either. So
Yeah, I mean,
Put it out there.
that is what happens though, is that if you
As
don't
a
pay the toll,
jungler, I can invade
you
and get
are
extra
stuck in
gold.
the river Styx
Behind.
for 100 years. Yeah, you're left behind. So
who's the little skelly friend behind
I'm
that?
saying.
Tuck a
he's
little
the
away
soul
from
that he
your
pulls out for.
Oh, I like
his,
that one better.
Stygian Surge.
I like that skin better.
Those are his friends,
Yeah, they're little friends.
Jim and Tambo.
Too bad it's gold.
All right, let's look at the.
If that gold isn't really that gold in game,
Oh, that's
Evil
that
Charon.
one's angry.
evil because he's angry and he's red.
He's smashing through something. You can see all the
Deacon's policy,
broken
everything
up
is
boats in the
jungler.
background. He's
The other
taking
Charons.
that
Match of the day.
that swift journey
Everything is
straight
jungler,
through some
jungler
boats
is
or
life.
something.
So somebody dropped anchor in his parking spot, and he is not happy about it. So, oh man, I don't know.
Oh, I like this
Red
one a lot.
too.
This is really
Yeah. Let's look at the card arts for the Masteries.
This one might just be my favorite.
Oh, look at that.
Look, somebody's like, listen, man, I brought the coin. Let's just.
Let's just get on with it.
I saw you smash that boat. I ain't about to play those games.
Yeah, me when I'm playing Charon trying to get my passive to max stacks.
Right.
All your coins belong to me.
Give them to me.
I just love the scale on this one as well. You just get a really good imposing feeling of like he is larger than life. He is a deity.
Yeah.
Can't be
I played
forgotten.
every god in the jungle.
That is super cool.
Literally every
So,
god.
you know, excited for this and excited for what I'm about to say because this is always fun.
Yeah.
We're doing the Race to Diamond.
Let's go.
We've been doing it a couple times now, and we're really excited.
Lermy's excluded, right?
Well,
Lermy will still
Talking about that later.
participate. Excluded from the winning, but you know Lermy's going to be out here doing stuff.
yeah, look at him.
So we have the Race to Diamond
That's
for
awesome.
Charon. So yeah, after the update launches, it will be a race to see who can get Diamond, and there will be rewards in store. Keep your eye on Twitter for all the details. But you know, we had so much fun doing it with the last couple releases. We really wanted to make it more of an official thing, an official community push. So y'all get in there, lock Charon, learn to play, love the boat, and unlock all of those cool mastery skins. And you know, tweet some of your best plays at us if you happen to have the capture going. Because, like Lermy said, we want to see those cross-map snipes.
Yeah, there are some fun achievements with this one too, where they are related to those trick shots that you might
The
see.
one gold is from your own creeps dying
sure
or
they're
from
fun.
jungle creeps
It's
dying.
definitely
It's not
sent
from
them by
assists.
Okay. Achievement hunter over here. All right. Well, super excited for all of that. So that brings us to the end of the show. We finally got to talk about Boat Boy. We've all been really hyped up for this since the trailer started releasing.
Yeah,
what feels
it's
like
been
an
pretty awesome.
eternity ago since
Oh my
10-6.
gosh.
So, you know, PTS will be coming soon. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on our socials. We'll let you know when that's open. We're excited for y'all to get in and test everything out and give us that ever important feedback because I'll say it. I said it once. I'll say it a bazillion times.
Pads was short because they're
Give
not
us that
doing any
feedback.
big changes
It helps
in
make
this.
the game
It's just
better.
the new god
So,
for the
sorry,
big
I had
change.
PT flow elbow yeah. But cool. So make sure to stick around too because after this we have the Dev Insight show. So if you wanted to, you know, get a more behind the scenes look at some of the thought processes that went
I
into
don't
why we
understand
made
not
certain
nerfing
changes or
marketers, bro.
why Charon be the way Charon be, that will be waiting for you along with some answers to some chat
I don't
questions.
get it.
So again, thank y'all all so much for coming out to another wonderful Smite update show.
Wait, yeah, when's
and
PTS?
looking forward to see you again. Bye, Smite fans.
Bye.
When's the PTS?
Abandon all